Hello, everyone. Okay, sorry. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign, finishing up in the next week. And this week is no different. I have 27 tabs open, and maybe we'll get through the 27. Although I think there's some suspect ones, and there's ones that are going to be super easy to get through because they just look bad. And I'll say this one looked bad. Don't worry about it, and then we can move on. But 27 tabs, there's always a consistent amount of games, a large amount of games that finish up every week. And this is your reminder, this is your gentle reminder, and I'll do it again at the end, because you've already skipped to the beginning of this, that you don't have to purchase everything. I was posting about my excitement for How to Save a World, and I got a comment that was like, oh, hey, yeah, it looks really cool, but I'm trying to reduce my spending, like trying to consume less board game media content, and that is perfectly okay. It is perfectly okay. Please take care of yourself and your wallets responsibly, and your mental health. And if you feel like you're watching too much YouTube, you're not going to miss anything this week. You really aren't. It's just board games. They'll be here next week, they'll be here next year, and they're already on your shelf. So I think it's worth sort of reminding ourselves about this. And I recognize my own place in like the hype machine, and so I want to counterbalance that a little bit and put games and fun times into the hands of people, but you know what? You already have some fun times as well at home. So I want to make sure that counterbalance is out there. And I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching, supporting the channel. All of my patrons, current, and anybody who signs up, supports the channel. Like, I am always super, super appreciative of anything that you throw my way. A couple bucks a month here, really, it goes a long way. And I know that, you know, times are sometimes tough for people. And we spend all our money on board games. And I'm really appreciative of all of you who turn up week after week and show up and communicate, and who I get to see at conventions, which is awesome. I guess I'm back now from KublaCon. I'm filming this before I leave, but just getting to hang out with people at Geekway and at KublaCon. I'll probably do recap videos of both of those to tell you my experiences of those conventions, and so that, you know, if they're in your neighborhood and you think about going, you can have that experience in a video format. But that's enough of that. That's not what's happening today. Today we are going to look at all the campaigns, starting out with this one. It's a roll and write. I mean, I should cut it because I have 27 tabs open, but we are going to check this one out because it was, well, really, because it's made by the same people who did Kaikoro, and I don't even know if that was a good game or not, but I remember having a bit that I thought was funny. So, you know, because I came up with something funny a while ago, now you get to get the benefit. So let's look at this, see if there's anything worth talking about. I doubt there's anything here. Help Mich. Mich. The explorer go through a dungeon full of monsters, full of mobstacles, monsters, and valuable items. Draw path lines in the Downgeon to find rooms and loot their contents. Use everything in your path to defeat the enemies and escape the dreaded dragon. Flip and right game combines polyomino drawing mechanics. The game is a race to get more golden fishes than other players before the game ends. So are the items on the board? I don't know if the items are on the board. Oh, it's if you create that shape, then it's on the board and you get those resources and then you kill those monsters, right? Let's zoom in. That seems to make sense. Inventory, you make this shape. Whenever you roll, you get to make those lines, and then you make that shape, you get torches, you get swords, and you can use those to kill the monsters, and the monsters also spit out additional stuff for your combos. That makes sense. Intuited, number one. I was playing a game the other day, and I was like, I feel pretty good about intuiting the rules on a lot of things, and it makes me feel very good when that happens. Download the rules. Sure, I'll take a little quick peek, but I'm pretty sure I got it all right. Down, down to Goblin Town, you go, my lad. Oh, oh, my lad. Goblins fight and goblins beat. Goblins fight and goblins beat. Down, 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 down. You go, my lad. Oh, oh, my lad. Okay. To defeat a boss, draw the 5-space room inscribed on the card. So draw a little square around him and then smack him with your sword and get 2 golden fish. Smack the golden fish right out of that Jinx's mouth. Jinx? Oh, sorry. Jeff, the Quimera. Oh, Jeff, the Quimera. I never knew you. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Easy peasy. Print and play. $5. US, which is about $8 Canadian. If you like print and plays, yeah, there's no shipping, so you'd think I like them, but I'm also too lazy. But if you're not a lazy little baby like me, well, check it out. The finish is Tuesday, May 28th. That's tomorrow at 10:58 a.m. Let's move along to Keystone North America, second edition and coastal expansion. Keystone North America is back with a stunning second edition and new coastal expansion. Yeah, I'm interested. Keystone North America. I've looked into this before, back when it was doing something, and so it should be familiar to me, but let's see what's changed. Okay, I'm a Keystone. When was the first Keystone? Keystone North America, back May 18th, 2021. Oh, so that must have been right as I started. Finished June 17th. Oh, so I just missed it. I just missed covering it in Crowdfunding Countdown at the very beginning. A link to all the Crowdfunding Countdown episodes and every single campaign up to the 1900 that we're at right now. 1964, technically it's 1968. Like, I don't count the ones that have multiple games in them because I just take it as like a campaign, but the Dark Cities, for example, had 5 games in it. So we're probably over 2,000 by now if you actually are counting it. But yeah, I didn't cover this, but I have heard of this. $45 components, the standard edition. Oh, so you can get the standard edition here? One standard edition of the game. Okay, it's just the second edition with the changing of the art. I thought, oh yeah, because I'm not, I'm not looking at the correct, I'm not looking at the correct one. Yeah, it's always these. No, that's not the Keystone that I wanted. No, it's a different Keystone. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Here's the new art. Here's the new board. It looks a little bit nicer. It was 45 way back. 25 gets you it, and the second edition gets you 35. So it's actually cheaper now that they're more established. Way to go, Keystone. 35 bucks. I like that as a price. Ah, for 1 to 2 players for the base. That's probably why. 60 bucks for the coastal. I wonder if the coastal can get you more players. Ah, there's a 4-player upgrade pack. There's a base game 4-player upgrade pack. Okay, 15. So second edition base game. So that's how they've knocked off a little bit of the price, is they made it a 2-player game, and maybe it's just better as a 2-player game. Let's look at the rulebook samples. The best part of Costco. The samples. This is a very quick rulebook. Your goal is to place cards on your player board to form ecosystems and complete your secret objective. An ecosystem is a sequence of 2 or more cards with matching habitats that are in a straight line and in numerical order. Okay, so you're just looking at the numbers, kind of like Century Golem Edition. You pay money in order to take cards, like Canvas 2, which will be coming up in this episode. Then you place it next to things, and if it matches those things, it will give you additional resources that you can spend on other stuff. The little pine cone. You shift everything down after that. You see 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 5. 3, sir. 3. And you have to share the same habitat, which are these little symbols. You can see in this row, no ecosystems are formed, because they all have different symbols that aren't next to each other, right? This mountain isn't next to this mountain. If the mountain goats and the American red squirrels were next to each other, they might start to form an ecosystem, essentially. And then you have your secret objectives where you just want to get symbols in the same order. So essentially, it's just a little bit of a drafting game with cards. I mean, I like that it's cheap. I don't really think it looks that interesting to me. Kind of gives me Veluspa vibes, if you've ever heard of that game. You probably haven't heard of it, because I don't think that one's good. This for base game 17 US, 25 US, so it's almost the same amount. It'll almost double the price. So this nice price at 35 plus shipping, that's why I always look at shipping, actually makes it so it's 60 just for that base 2-player game. And then plus conversion for me in Canada, that's like, 88. Too much for me, but if that really turns your crank, if you really like the idea of drafting, well, you can probably get yourself a first edition and you'll be fine. But check it out. It's raised a bunch of money. It's passed its goal. Good for it. That finishes Tuesday, May 28th at 11 a.m. Moving along to Dance of Muses, a fascinating pure strategy board game. I feel like this game has already come out before, but we'll see. A competitive 2 to 4 players abstract game where you have to control the value of your dice by making the 9 muses dance. Dance, muses, dance! Maybe not. I think there was one that was about songwriting that I was confusing it with. It was set in the Grecian realm as well, and you were laying down your cards of scores, and it could actually play a real song. But let's see if this is any good. This seems like it could be an okay solo game. That's nice to do with solo mode. The idea, you're going to have this shifting grid of 9 muses where they all need to dance together. If one of your muses is off by themselves, then they're going to get so sad they won't dance for you anymore, and they won't inspire your beautiful art as dancing muses only do. You want to make sure all your muses are satisfied, which is something I vehemently agree with. So you're going to be shifting these dice around. A pure strategy board, both for new players and expert chess enthusiasts. I see the chess comparison, I do. You want to shift these around, and each one, as you move them, can perform an ability to basically raise the dice of other muses, and you want to balance the dice that you're raising as well, because it is whoever has the most dice wins. The best dice. And you can see there's different colored dice on these 9 muses, so I think everybody, you're shifting things around. You only want to raise your muse dice and not your opponent's, which I quite like. I thought it was going to just be everybody has their own value of 9, but you can essentially like knock people out as well. There are also the Will of Apollo. You can automatically move your dice to a 6 if you leave it at a certain number. Yeah, look at the rules. I think I got it though. 9 muse tiles, 12 dice with up to 3 colors. In a 4-player game, each player will have 2 muses. Not sure that 3 different colors makes sense. No, there are 3 different colors. Then how do you play a 4-player game? Doesn't everybody have their own dice? Yeah, and 4 players is 2 players against 2. There you go. So it's not a 4-player game. It's a 2-player game. This is a 2-player game, maybe a 3-player game, but probably a 2-player game. Okay, and you can't detach them from the rest of the group. That makes sense. So you're not like eliminated. Otherwise, it would be easy to gang up on somebody and just play or eliminate them out of the way. I understand now. This is why you read the rulebook, because it either will confirm your assumptions or it will inform you. And while I hate being informed of things I just don't already know, I like to just say something and assume it's right. And then if anybody tells me differently, I just ignore it. I think that's generally a pretty good way to live in this world. You just ignore it. Just don't even listen. That's what I like to do. And if you do that too, well, make sure to comment down below, because I'm not going to read it. And if you're playing with 2-player, you can move up a neutral player. That's why a 2-player game. This is a 2-player game. All right, this is a 2-player game. Kind of looks cool. How much are you? Print and play, €11. Okay. Base game, €20. 30 Canadian. I kind of like that, honestly. There's a perfect bundle. You can get a alternate dice XP cloth bag add-ons. I don't think that deluxe matters whatsoever. I think you just get the base game. Estimated timeline a year. Seems right. Shipping. Yeah, here's where it almost doubles though. Shipping for the base game for Canada, it's like $20. So at the store, I'd pay 30. You know, I'd say, yeah, that's fine. But I don't really want to pay the shipping, because then it makes it more 60 for me, because I assume that's in the US dollars. So 55-ish. But I was expecting from the description, I was expecting this to not be interesting, and I think I would play this. I think it would be okay. So I think if you're getting it, you be excited. That finishes Tuesday, May 28th at 11 a.m. Let's keep it moving. Now we're actually starting on with the... No, we're not. This was also Tuesday? Oh, I must have been looking in the wrong time zone when I was doing it. I don't know. Anyway, this also finishes tomorrow. This is the Canvas Big Box. I got to play Canvas recently, just this past month for the first time, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was nice, relaxing. It did everything that I wanted it to. I don't know if I would be interested in the big box, because one of the main draws of Canvas is that you can hang it on your wall as a little picture frame, right? This Canvas big box, while it's nice to have storage and slide things out, I just would prefer to not. You know, I do like that the setup helps, but I think the benefit of this and the draw to this, and it does have a place for the easels. All right, you're drawing me in. But the draw to this is... Whoa, that's cool. The draw to this one is its portability, its small footprint, and that you can hang it to the wall. All right, we call it a big box, but it's actually a space-efficient, medium-sized box. You know, you got me. Almost the same volume as Ticket to Ride. Well, Small World is Ticket to Ride, so you can see it right there. I don't know why there's... Oh, maybe that's just the previous canvas of the size of Canvas. That might be the same size of what Canvas used to look like. That's not horrible. It's a bit thicker than Ticket to Ride. It is a bit thicker, but it's also like, what, $100 Yeah, it's just $34 for the box. Base game is 50, 67 Canadian. Right, like, I don't want to pay that much for this game. I think it was good. I think it was fun. Let me explain to you how to play it as we get to somewhere. Do they not even tell you how to play? They're just like, yeah, it's pretty, get it. How dare you. One big box gamer expansion 4. Okay, 9. That's good for shipping. So 9, but it's still like $75. And this is a game, yeah, they don't even show you how to play this. Like, what's going on here, Canvas? You just know that everybody likes you already. Anyway, we'll zoom into this picture. Essentially, there's going to be these 5 cards that pop out, and you're going to have 4 scoring conditions. All of these cards will have up to 5 sets of symbols on them at the bottom, and each one of these scoring conditions will relate to one or the other. So when I played, it was like, have 3 gears or have more gears than any other symbol on your painting. And you'll get to collect 3 of these and then form them together as a painting. You can hold up to 5 cards in your hand before you actually have to form a painting, and generally you'll just draw 5 cards and then you'll decide what your painting will be in the best combination. But there's some room for that. It's very simple. You make essentially 11 decisions in this game, put them on paintings, and then what we did, which I actually think should be integral to playing the game, because the art doesn't matter whatsoever. Like, you don't get a benefit for having a beautiful painting. In fact, sometimes it's worse. And so what we did is, for every painting, the first one you complete, the second one, and the third one, you put it on display, and then everybody votes at the same time, and that person gets an extra 2 points. And that's how I lost, because my paintings weren't beautiful, and Reed's were. And he beat me by 1 point. And I like that. Like, I like that a lot. I think that that is a house rule that you should play with this game, because then it actually makes the art mean something instead of not. So yeah, I think Canvas is really fun. I just don't think it's worth $75. I get it because the cards are translucent, like, stuff's really nice quality, but I just don't want to spend that much on Canvas. It just feels so expensive when, like, you could get Wingspan, or you could get Canvas, right? You could get Terraforming Mars, or you could get Canvas. So when you compare it against the other stuff on offer, I think it's really cool. We'd be happy to play it a bunch, but I think it's too expensive for what it is. But if you're interested in that, and you just want to go bananas and get the entire trilogy, which just is going to give you more cards and probably does not shake up the variability, or spend $200 on Canvas, well, you can. That finishes Tuesday, May 28th at 11:59 p.m. How much would you spend on Canvas, Renee? Canvas, the game we played with Jordan, Ken, and Reed with the paintings. $800 you would spend on it. Well, no, we're not spending $8,000 on Canvas.
80 or 100.
Oh, 80 or 100. You would spend 80?
80, maybe 100.
It's 75.
Yeah. It's so pretty. And it's like, the pieces are so unique. Like, the cards, with all the art. It's like literally an artist. Chris, I'm sorry. You're an artist. You are an actor. Do you not want to be paid for your work? These are little pieces of art in a box. 100. Excellent. Excellent game. Highly recommend Rumpy's top tier shelf.
It's Rumpy's top tier shelf, so do you want me to get it for 75?
I don't know why it's not already being shipped to our house.
Well, all right, I'm gonna back it. This is bad. I made a whole speech at the beginning about not spending so much on games.
I'm offended. Do you love me? Ever?
Apparently not.
Can I tell them something?
Yeah.
So Chris will sometimes get in these moods where he's all down and depressed because he thinks I don't like board games. And every game I ever tell him I like, he never buys me. We have a shelf full of
like dungeon crawlers.
Painful trash. No, not painful trash, but we have a shelf full, chock full.
I got your Grand Austria Hotel.
You got yourself Grand Austria.
Okay, I got myself Grand Austria Hotel.
We still have a running list of all these games I've played and loved and enjoyed and told you I like and said, get me that game. You haven't ordered me one.
Do you want to tell the people your list? Steam Up, Takenoko,
Honeybee,
Honeybuzz, Calico. Those are Renee's desires.
Many many others I've played and liked, and it's not my fault I can't remember them.
I'll get Canvas.
It's your fault.
Do you want
ordered them.
Do you want any expansions?
For what?
Canvas. Come here, look at this.
Of course, I want all of the expansions.
Okay, but come and look at this. So we have this Canvas trilogy where you could have 3 boxes that you can hang on the wall like that.
Yeah.
And they would all have stuff. They also have a big box in which you can have all the content, and there's these little trays to pull out.
But none of this is about the game, so I don't care. In terms of, like, buying into it.
Well, the expansions probably give you more cards.
Like, what am I buying? A cute drawer or a game?
Well, there you go. At least there's that. do you want the additional expansions, or do you feel like I feel like Canvas as a
What does
base
it give
game?
you? I don't know.
The expansions give you additional cards, essentially.
Just more pictures or more mechanics?
More pictures, probably more scoring conditions. It's really good here that I'm trying to explain and see what I'm getting with these with this trilogy, and it really doesn't tell me. It's doing a great job of selling it to me.
If it was just more pictures, I wouldn't do it. If it was like
yeah, it's like new scoring cards, new award cards, a signature style. Like I don't think it's gonna shake it up that much.
If it made the game feel different, like here's exactly how I would make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Does it change the game as much as the Wingspan expansions do? Because it's like all these cards are laid out and you score based on what you have, and then the other expansion has like a lot of end game stuff, and other expansion has a lot of like active end of round stuff, and it changes the way you kind of play the game. If it was that equivalent of different, I would. If it's just new pictures, I don't care.
It's probably that equivalent of different. Like Wingspan gives you for a while. Yeah. All right. Well.
I'm so mad.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you came in the room because I was just being like, yeah, it's probably too expensive for 75.
I gotta tell you, this is a cry for help.
And then you said,
I'm trapped in a house full of games.
I'm backing it right now.
None of them are my requests. Trapped.
Do you want the easels? Oh yeah, we could 3D print the easels. It actually did enhance the experience. It's really great to be able to showcase your art at the end. Well, I guess we're getting Canvas. Actually, I want to see if there's a group buy. I'm buying this for you, Renee.
You're buying it because it's a game.
No, I'm buying it for you. I wouldn't get it for me. I will. Yeah, okay.
It's not a sacrifice to the altar of love.
Yeah, it takes up a spot on the shelf. No, it won't. It'll go on the wall.
Yeah, it'll literally go on one of our cute shelves. It'll go on the good shelf. It'll look so good there. Don't act like this is martyrdom, Chris.
Well, there we go. Renee thought it was worth it, so I guess that'll be the pick for me when we get to it. Anyway, if you're interested in that finishes tomorrow, May 28th at 11:59 p.m. Now, to be fair, Renee does have poor impulse control and wants a bunch of pretty things, but I need to get her more games that she wants and not just get the games that I want. And I guess we're getting Canvas. But I'm not spending $200 on it, okay? I'm spending $75. That's my limit. And I still think I would. Does 401 have it? Actually, let me see. You're seeing my real-time buying process. Canvas Deluxe. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, sold out. Also sold out. I guess I'm probably getting the Deluxe here. Comes with these Deluxe upgrades. Wooden tokens, award cards, more art cards. Okay. So I'm essentially getting the Deluxe, and it's going to be about the same. Well, there you go. There's a review for you. We're moving on to Masters of the Universe Battleground by Archon Studios. Masters of the Universe Battleground is a skirmish miniature game for 2 to 4 players where the forces of good and evil clash in epic combat. This glorious battle will shake the earth and change the fate of Eternia. Okay, so this one is also delivering to select countries only, which is due to licensing agreements. Oh, it can go to Canada and the US, so that's nice, but it's mostly the EU, where shipping actually seems okay. Well, to Poland, Europe, UK, USA, Canada, yeah. Oh my god, $346? No, what's the base one? That's not the base. What's the base one? Are any of these the base? Is this the base game? I don't even want that as the base. There are too many boxes for it to be the oh, it's because it's a stretch goal box. All right, fine. $99. There we go. $137. So really, it's like $200. Okay. This is interesting because I thought that Fields of Eternia was coming back, but really, we're coming back with these additional factions in this skirmish style game and all that friggin' terrain. Oh, you get the terrain in the starter set. Wow, that's kind of nice. The terrain is fun. Yeah, they have the starter set for 2 players. You've got He-Man, and you've got Skeletor, and you have all of their different people, and you can outfit them with different cards. Ooh, I do like the different maps, though. Play with predefined maps. Cool. Experience skirmishes driven by strategy, courage, and fate. Activate your heroes to use unexpected moves and tactical surprises. Keep the opponent on their toad. Mana-controlled destiny. Strategically use mana to control your luck on the battlefield. Create powerful combos using character abilities. Yeah, this seems kind of neat. I hope they have a rulebook. Cool, straightforward system. That's the sort of thing that I want. Where's the rulebook? No way. I've never heard of this channel. Fresh and Burger Minis. You know, when did they get created? I'm very curious. More. Wow, May 5th, 2006. My first idea for the name for Room and Board was like Board Not Boring. And then my buddy Ryan said that. Well, he gave me a better name, I thought, but no shade. There's a whole crapple a load of factions that you can have. Where's the rule book, though? That's disappointing. Maybe I missed it. I think the danger with this and the danger with a lot of these things is you get an IP that you like and you see, oof, different factions, different variability, and then you get it out and you'll want to learn the one faction that you have before you move on to something else. I think the base set is the way to go if you are considering this. Like, don't get the additional factions. You could get that later, right? And if you can't get it later, then it wasn't a good enough game. Unfortunately, I don't see any rule book. I'm going to just watch a little bit of the Cavre because they do good stuff to see. Nope, it's a playthrough. It's a playthrough. Maybe the game overview. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is you have 5 characters and you get to pick 4 of them, essentially. Okay, capture the flag while stay alive. That's all I really need to know. That's all you need to do too. Move your people around, punch each other in the face. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I just don't know if the value is there. If you want the terrain, I mean, I do really like that the terrain comes, like they do force it on you, because like I would never choose to buy the terrain, but I also think that like, I don't know what Renee's doing in there and I need to go check on her. There's lots of sawing and lots of banging. Oh God. Anyway, they force terrain upon you. Well, let's finish this one. No, I gotta go check. The finish is on the 29th at 3 p.m. and we're gonna move along to Fleur. No, we're not. This is just me pointing out that this is probably pretty basic, and this is a company that really doesn't see the issue with a company that deletes comments and had an article on their website that says how to exploit your backers using psychological tricks. They're like, no, that's fine. The guy who calls that out, we don't like him. He doesn't get it. Well, I guess not, and I'm certainly not getting your game. For reference, Botany was probably at the bottom of my list. This was before the whole $1 pre-pledge stuff. Botany was at like the bottom of my list of all the campaigns that raised over $1 million. You can go check those receipts because I made a video about it, and I thought it was going to be pretty basic. And I think if you want a sort of heightened style game for games you can get right now, for companies that care about their backer experience, or companies that care, you should try Rococo, which is great. Obsession, which I played for the first time, quite enjoyed. Or last week's Apostocracy, guaranteed. I guarantee you they will give you a better experience than whatever the Fleur has to offer. We're not going to cover this. This just is a very quick matching card game. Get rid of your cards from your hand. Well, I guess we're covering right now. I basically told you the entire game. It's a mad matchup. You either play all different or all together. You want to lay them down specifically, and then if you do that, your opponents get negative points. That's it. It's $20. We're moving on. Let's check this one out. This one's called Children of Morta, the board game, a fast-paced co-op shared bag-building adventure. Look at all those buzzwords. I like them. About a family of guardians standing united against corruption. 45 US bucks. Okay, I'm interested. Vancouver-based game studio. It's the first time they've made something. Okay. 61 Canadian. I like that as a price. Just a simple cooperative bag builder based on the video game. Sure. Follows the Bergson family. Each family member brings their unique skills and combat styles. If you hear smashing, that's Renee putting back everything, since we have 4 hours and then we go to sleep and wake up and leave for San Francisco. Now is not the time to remove an entire carpet. Simultaneous turns, unique shared bag building. That's interesting. I would think everybody would have their own bags and then you just play it like a regular bag builder, but maybe not. Defense turns to offense, precision, high risk, high reward. Rage for damage, the way of the combos. Defeat enemies, gain rewards and experience by utilizing your unique class abilities. Limited resource, as well as family support and strategic discussion. After each run, whether you win or lose, return home and level up individually. I'm interested. Does that happen in one playthrough or in multiple playthroughs? I hope it kind of happens in one playthrough. That would be cool. Well, maybe not. Delve deep into a captivating story mode, unveiling secrets, or the family trial. Every session resets your progress, like roguelike. New characters can catch up quickly thanks to shared skill bag. Okay. Dual layered boards. This seems cool. Bunch of tokens, standard stretch goals. The deluxe edition gets you metal stuff and a bunch of acrylic tokens. Wow. And tuck boxes. See, this is what it actually costs. 85 US instead of 45 US. The fancy bits are expensive. They really are. Oh, nice. That's your little experience tracker right there. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's see how to play. And actually, yeah, let's see the rulebook too. Plan your way. Choose from multiple paths. Each encounter's difficulty level is indicated on the back of the tiles. Okay, so you're going to lay out all these tiles. You're going to go through. You're going to face a bunch of monsters. Monsters will be revealed. You then get some rewards. You want to gear up as you slay the spire style, move forward, and take out these monsters. You murder all the monsters, then the monsters attack you. When any family member is exhausted, your run ends, but the adventure continues. Use your experience to permanently unlock new upgrades for your hero. Plus, by spending more of us gold, players can add new advanced skill tokens into the bag, and then you can continue. Okay, so I'm a bit confused as to how that development happens. I think it is based just upon the solo mode, or the story mode, rather. So we're going to take a look at it. Story mode, players progress through the campaign. Play several chapters, and so that's how you can upgrade. And then the family trial mode, one-off sort of games. I do want to learn about both of those modes in the rule book. Yes, please. And I want to see how that family bag is built. Story mode campaign is 6 chapters. Okay, so it's like just an easy run to go through. I like that it's small, right? There are too many large story modes out there, and I do like that it's smaller. Each round, encounter, you reveal tiles on the map. Combat, you fight them. Clean up, you prepare for the next round. So you can visit multiple locations. Okay, visiting each location in a dungeon is not mandatory. You gain more experience. Because, yeah, I guess you could flip out all the tiles and you just have the appearance of choosing a path. I guess the tiles are different, right? The potential of what you'll face is different. And you could go to a merchant, you could go get items, etc. You draw random chest tiles, yeah. Like, so you can plan out your routes. I don't know how I feel about this communal token bag. It feels a little less exciting that you don't get that asymmetry, but you're all sort of doing the asymmetry, or if like I really need purple and then you draw all my purple, but we invested so much in purple so that I could have a cool like purple move. That's what I'm worried about with this one. I do like that it enables you to roll dice, that there's a dice element into it. I do like the dice because it's all random, so you might as well add a little bit more randomness into it, right? But you get that chance to have a critical hit, so there's that. Players win by accomplishing all chapter objectives. Players lose if somebody is exhausted or there's no space to place a new enemy above a hero board during an encounter phase. So too many things spawn, essentially. When you come back, you get to reset your stuff. You get support tokens. You buy skill tokens and put it into the bag. I do like this communal, like, I like the idea that you are leveling each other up and leveling this bag up. I just don't know if that will detract from the asymmetry all that much. But the price is potentially right to take a stab at it. It depends on what shipping is. Probably like 30. 15 to 17. That's okay. So it's like $60 US. 65 US, which is in between these two. So $80 Canadian for this little bag builder. I don't know. Could be good. I'm not completely sold, but I'm thrilled that it's doing well. And a really good showing for a first-time company. That finishes Thursday, May 30th at 12:59 p.m. Let's move along to this one that I forgot. I clicked on Castle Up, a thrilling card game where you will lead your people, build the greatest castle, and leave your mark on history forever. This is a medieval combat. Yes, it's that. A medieval combat tableau building card. That makes sense. It kind of looks a little bit like a lane battler. You're going to level up these different parts of your city, and you want to get the most points. Castle Up gave me some Star Realms vibes with better artwork and no fiddly deck building. Sure. I hate that fiddly main mechanic of that game. All right, so there's a bunch of different cards. They fall into suits: military, merchant, civilian, and wonder. They're essential for your kingdom's growth. You have also 4 resources: manpower, supplies, food, and gold. I'm going to focus on manpower. Combat. Buildings can be damaged and need repairs. Defensive structures help mitigate that damage. That makes sense. Hey, there's going to be synergy and combos. Well, sign me up. Time to back. And you have to anticipate your opponent's plans? Oof, this sounds strategic. Get the most points. All right, where's the rulebook? That's not good enough. There we go. Consult the rulebook. Thank you. How far down the page are you? 3/4? 3/4. I need to keep saying that. Aha, purchase an action card is different than your purchase action. You essentially have one buy, which I'm a little bit confused about because there are going to be 8 cards up there. You can take these one-time abilities or you can take these buildings. As long as you have the resources, you can discount yourself if the building is no longer useful, yeah. You can promote buildings from a lower era to a higher era. So a Thieves Guild can be promoted into a tax office because they're the same thing. They just now do it legally. Oh, okay. Or you can, by exhausting a ready card, you can use one of the actions displayed on it. So each one of these cards should give you additional actions. All right, that's kind of neat. You can attack by exhausting as many attack cards as you want, and they pick somebody. It's probably better as a two-player game. You add the total damage. You can use defense points to stop it. I don't see how you get more than one purchase, so you're either going to... Well, it's probably on your cards, right? Like, your cards will give you additional purchases if you invest in them. Kind of like that. Okay, I'm interested. What is it? Print and play, €6. I like that. Kickstart edition, €22, 33 Canadian. Sure. What's shipping though? Probably the same. USA, €10 or €16. Depends how we feel that day. Oh, typically costs €16. However, if we achieve high sales volume, we can reduce it to 10 as a stretch goal. That's great. Canada, €17. So it essentially doubles it. It's like $55 again for this smaller card game, which I think looks fine. It doesn't blow me away, but I think it looks fine. Like, I think it looks solid. I also don't think there seems to be anything wrong with it. I just think it's existing in a space in that two-player head-to-head card game that's not just like Duel Monsters. You didn't see that coming. But it's like Dominion Monsters instead. I don't know how that really fills that void. But if it fills a void for you, well, I'm happy for you. That finishes Thursday, May 30th at 2 p.m. Moving along to Formosa Tea. Experience the early years of the Taiwanese tea industry through this innovative 2 to 4 player worker placement board game. Man, we still have a lot of games to go, so let's keep it moving. I'm going to try to get through these a bit quicker. I am infinitely charmed by that video, and I really hope this is good. It seems cool. This is all about the history of Taiwanese tea, and you're going to have a worker placement where you can invest in creating the great tea processes, or you can just skip it and try to get more actions and steal all the tea leaves for yourselves. And I think that's very, very funny and very interesting. Now, remastered and streamlined, they're going to have a new edition with some balancing in it, which is cool. And it's going to be, you can get an upgrade pack, great, for $20. Or it's $50, which, again, I like that as a nice euro cost. Of course, I would love it if it was free, but what can you do? You can take one of the 5 possible actions. Send a worker to harvest tea leaves. That's these little circles over here. Send a worker to the tea factory to process tea leaves. That's over here. Retrieve a worker from the tea factory after tea processing is complete. Send a worker to sell tea in the domestic market, and send a worker to sell tea in the international market. Worker pushment. When more workers from any player are sent to harvest tea in the same row, the tea masters on the corresponding tea processing track can take additional processing steps. Cool. So all these rows are tied in to where you're processing, but you have to have already invested in that processing. I like that. Second mechanism is when their tea master is pushed, players have the choice to take those additional steps to improve the tea's quality or send their tea master back to the end and rush the production so that they're able to take more actions in the same round. Cool. So if you can anticipate what people want and there's sort of a blocking there, I really like this as an idea. I hope they have a rule book. It better. Many expansions, different types of tea trees, domestic market tiles, so tea tree cards, tea tree tokens, domestic market tiles. Okay, just a little expansion. Oh no, I feel like we're getting to the end. No, we're not. We're very far up. Okay, good. Oh, and it's very Azul style. You take all of the same color or one of all different colors. The tea cubes must be placed on the corresponding water level. Sure, don't know what that means, but I think it relates to where the row is. Process the teas to dehydrate and fragment the tea cube, so you want it to be not soaking wet, because then it'll dry out a little bit easier. Retrieve a worker from the tea factory after tea processing is completed. Evaluate the quality based on the water level and fragrance. Cool. Pay tea cubes required by the merchant card to score victory points. Oh, great. It's just a nice cube pusher. Yes, I love a good cube pusher. A good cube pusher gets me so excited. Because this makes it so simple. Your objectives, so simple. You know what to do. And then it's just how you get those cubes in a way that's interesting is fun. Or you can sell to the domestic market where you pay 2 cubes the same color, 3 of different to advance on the domestic and earn victory points. So there's a different track. Yeah, download the rules. Please give me that. I think I've got a good example, though. I want to see how that water plays. You can hold at most 6 cubes. Okay, that's important. Okay, there's a difference of tracks. 3 are raw tea tracks, and then 1 can get you scented tracks, probably worth more points. Each tea processing track, each player can only have 1 tea master. I was getting excited that only 1 person could go there, but they're open to everyone. How many tea masters does everybody get? You have 8 tea farmers, 2 tea farmers, and 3 tea masters. So they're divvied out. I think I'd like a world where they weren't divvied out, but it's probably a balance thing. Just because, I don't know, if they're not divvied out, then I get to make the choice if it's 2-3 or 3-2. You advance your technology of the corresponding T type. I want to know what those are. When your players moved onto a T technology track space labeled with the T technology disc, you immediately take the corresponding disc from the supply and can use it right away. Okay, so there's a one-time usability that you can use on each batch of T cubes. You can reduce the water level. Okay, so it just helps to chain. It's all about that water level and grabbing things together. Getting to that scented tea or into the market. Yeah, the decision here that I like, the decision here that I really like, ooh, 0 shipping to Taiwan. Yeah, baby. What about to Canada, though? 23? Ooh. 2 copies is 46, so no discount. I do like that they just added it. Is that added for everything? It's added for everything. I'm a big fan that it's added for everything. They're like, you know what? We're going to give you, if you get 2 copies, you save $0. So I do think that's funny. 23, oh, this is like a $100 game for me. It's probably not something I'm going to pull the trigger on. Uh-oh. I'm getting to that point where I've been backing a few things, and I was ahead in terms of like I didn't have much outstanding, and now I have a lot outstanding. So I've got to up, especially with that canvas, just like a free-for-all that's going on. I don't know. But anyway, what I do know is what I really like about the decision-making that's going to happen here, and this is the key element to it, is that you're going to have to choose if people are going to scoop up your T spots or not. Maybe. Because if you put your Tea Master in a specific spot and then claim things in that row, they get to move, right? So that's obviously the flow at which you want to do. But if there's a particularly delightful spot on the board, maybe people will go there first. Maybe they'll bump you up. Maybe you won't get those T cubes. The more I talk about it, the more I'm unsure of if that flow will ever be broken up. But I do like the potential there for sure. Yeah, I think it looks cool. Again, it's like $100 for me, and I gotta stop. Oh, I gotta stop. But that finishes Thursday, May 30th at 2:49 p.m. I do think that looks quite cool, and I'm not completely sold on it, but I really like the concept, and I think there's some fun things working there. Okay, moving along, we're gonna go to Wicked Cribbage. This is a card game for people who are into cribbage. Hey, I like cribbage. And comebacks, and risky math, and sometimes pegging backwards. Well, you're speaking my language, okay? These are just, if you've ever heard of Nightmare Chess, that's what this feels like for cribbage, where they just add in different rules. You flip over stuff and like little events happen. With the Lugger and Twinkler decks, I mean, come on. What are those names? $20, 28 shipping charged after the campaign. And what's shipping? See the shipping section. Okay. $6 to the US, 11 to Canada. I think it's fine, but $40 to shake up cribbage. I don't think. I mean, I would get it maybe for Renée's folks because they play a lot of cribbage, but I think cribbage is good on its own. This is interesting, though. I like the potentials. I like the cards that I saw. It's like, hey, if your crib scores 0, that sort of stuff. That's interesting. Ask your opponent to point to any card that's face up. Wait a suspenseful moment. You peg backward that number. Or you play this and you're like, hey, we're both pegging backwards this time. And so you're trying not to win tricks, essentially. You're trying to set your opponent up to get 31. I think it would be fun to try, but I don't think it would have that much staying power, so to speak. But if you're interested, if you're a cribbage fan, check it out. It finishes Thursday, May 30th at 7 p.m. I like this as a concept. It's not going to happen when trivia meets dungeon crawler. The answer is trivia questions to get action points to progress through a series of rooms. So if you're bad at trivia, your person just stands there in the dungeon. They're like, yeah, I really want to play dungeon crawler. Yeah, do you know what the capital of Taiwan is? No? It's Taipei. Sorry. You don't get to do a move. Now a monster punches you in the face. Which I think is very funny. 10 backers have gotten it, 766. There is nothing here. There's no concept. There's a playthrough, but that's it. Sitting around the table playing board game. You could do this with any game. You just pull out Trivial Pursuit or any trivia questions. Say, hey, do you get to take your turn? No. You didn't know who the 42nd American president was. So, again, you get punched in the face by a monster. I think that's very funny. It's not going to fund, but I just wanted to look at it. And speaking of something that's worse than that, this is Wonders of the First CCG. I think this was the one that got canceled, wasn't it? Yeah, Kickstarter said that it's given Wonders of the First 48 hours to voluntarily cancel the project, or the crowdfunding site will suspend the campaign itself, saying NFT rewards violate the platform's rules. Because you can get NFT rewards here. And then I think the response to that was somebody saying, "You're infringing upon me. I want to charge people so much money for NFTs that they can never play with. Please let me earn $1 bajillion for people to collect things that they hope will be worth money and certainly won't because someone else is running the business." Yeah, we're not going to look at that. Let's move on to this, though. Hunted Mining Colony 415, the second edition. This is the solo game of the month by Gabe Barrett, who's been doing a solo game of the month, and in these small little boxes. I thought the other few ones have looked interesting, so I'm going to continue to look at them until they stop being interesting. So let's see what this one's all about. All right, so this is the same in the Hunted system. They have the Kobayashi Tower, which is Die Hard, and this is essentially Alien. This is a dexterity game where whenever you encounter aliens as you're trying to work your way through a deck, you have to take these tokens and throw them into this box. If you get it into the circle, you make a hit. If you miss, you don't. But that's nice. There's a new non-dexterity combat system for those who don't enjoy tossing things. They need to make a Fraser one next, so you can toss salad and scrambled eggs. It's sort of a push your luck because you're going to use the cards in the row to find equipment, and each one will have symbols on them, which can chain into other symbols, and you want to get through this location deck, but you might flip over some aliens, and if you've made too much noise, then they will attack you, essentially. Seems kind of neat. I think the other ones look a little bit better, but $5 shipping to the US, makes this $29. If you like solo games, these price points feel really nice, and to Canada it's $6 as well, so it'd be like $40 for this little solo game. I think this idea has been really well implemented, and I think the solo series deserves its shout out and its roses for sure for giving what seem to be fun games at a decent price. Definitely should have more than that. So if you're interested in that, that finishes on the 31st at 12:59 a.m. That's in the morning. We're going to look at this one, Enemies and Lovers. Wow, it's raised $603,000 because it's from the Crown of Elfhame, a book series, I think, based on the Cruel Prince series. Wait, did we read this book? We did not. But there's a game of it now, and people are really going nuts for it. So let's see if it's actually any good or if it's just the IP. I'm sorry, this video speaks right to my soul. A bubbling cauldron.
Do you like to play games?
I do like to play games.
Do you have a troubling lack of morals?
Yes.
An unquenchable thirst for power?
Yes, both of those.
Good. Let's play games together.
I'm sold. I'm in. Well, I was really hyped, and it looks just like a big old Take That fest, so I'm less hyped. But I'm interested. Someone who met my partner through Dungeons and Dragons. Sweet. Awesome. That's awesome. What a beautiful love story. Sweet. Easy to learn, fast to play, and vicious, with pretty pictures, plus no tallying, and no little parts to lose. Honestly, I appreciate that sort of game design mentality. You start with 3 cards, you have a hand that you draw or steal, and a court that you place face down. You assemble a court so you have 1, 2, 3 cards, and then a crown card. So you've manipulated your prince onto the throne. Each game should take between 15 and 40 minutes. I just feel it's going to be a lot of stealing cards, or you've played cards face down, and then when they revealed, you've activated your trap card, essentially. Okay, so each turn occurs. Place 1 court card into your court, or remove and exchange one. So place 1 card face down. Play 1 card. So you play a card from your hand, which will have different abilities. Attack your friends. End your turn, draw a new card. Simple. 3 cards that interrupt the flow. Trickster. Played out of turn. Tricking the trickster. The tricking the trickster should be played out of turn in response to the trickster. And then trap, you've activated my trap card. Automatically played out of turn when attacked while in a court. All right. Oh, and then they just show you a brief of what all the cards do. Honestly, love this because you can actually read what all the cards do and see if they're fun. I want to see what the wild cards do. Force all players to flip over all hand and court cards. Conceal all hand and court cards on the table. So a little bit of silver there. I like that. That makes me positive for it. Conceal your hand and court cards. Steal a court card from an opponent. Switch hands. Take a card from the discard pile. You have to flash the card really quickly and then you can conceal it. You know what? I didn't think I would enjoy this. I've gone through the real ringer here, but I think it could actually be okay. I mean, it's $30.41. Oof, Canadian, then probably a bunch of shipping. But the art is beautiful. They are gilding every card. Deluxe metallic green sprayed edge deck. Like, don't pay that much. Come on. Don't do it. You made your own game. You can take away the royalties. Shipping one deck is an additional $12. So it's like $42, $50 for this game. No chance. But it doesn't look bad. I thought it was going to be a take that fest, but I think the way the card abilities interact feels like it could be fun, and I still would just get silver or scram. I think that could give you the same sensation if you're interested. And if you're interested in this game, seriously do check out silver or scram. Scram is a little bit less complex than silver, a little bit less abilities. Very good team game. But if you're interested in this, yeah, check it out. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I just think it's a bit overpriced. The event is Friday, May 31st at 12:02 p.m. Moving along, man, do I still have so many more to go. That's quite a lot, but we're gonna get through them. We have World of Kilforth, the Fantasy Quest games. Return to the stunning oceans of Kilforth. Missed the Kickstarter? Heed the call. Call of Kilforth. It's where you can pimp your Kilforth. That's a pimp my ride pun, as they say. I hope they say that again down below. I mean, Call of Kilforth was around for a while, right? A one-off event to invite newer experienced adventurers into the misty lands of Kilforth. This is going to be our last Fantasy Quest game project for some time. Wow. So if you're missing some expansions, they're just doing one final reprint of any stuff, and then they're going out of business. Or they'll come back, but they're going to take a little bit of a break. So you can get Gloom of Kilforth, Shadows of Kilforth, Call of Kilforth, or any of their other stuff. The World of Kilforth. Select this reward, and then you select any stuff. So it's just $1. And you can get all of their games. Cool. I mean, that's great. This is a great place to get all their games if you wanted it to. $95 for Call of Kilforth for the base game US. Because some of the stuff is only US, probably just based upon where the warehouses are, I would assume. US only. It seems like it's all US only. Looks like it's all, yeah. Pimp my shadows. It's a pimp my ride pun. It's not. It's not a pun. Oh. So if you're in the US, you can get this. I've heard fine things about it. I kind of forget exactly what everything does. I think this kind of reminds me of Call to Adventure, maybe because it starts with call, but I think more the art and the going on adventure. But otherwise, that's like a very light symbol matching set collection type game. It feels like you're going to be matching these symbols as well, developing your hero through its skill tree. I don't think they have any of the rule books here, though. I mean, they do have videos. Like I do understand that when there are pimp my gloom. You don't understand. It's a pimp my ride pun, okay? That's the only reason. That's the only thing I remember from this game. That is literally I don't remember any gameplay from looking at it previously. Don't remember anything about it. And they're not really that interested in showing you the gameplay. No, I mean, they do show you the videos, so that's fine. But people get rules wrong, you know? I want to look under the hood, generally. Personally, before I make a purchasing decision, I like to look under the hood. RPG in a box, Gloom of Kilforth. Let's watch this one, I guess, and see. Thank you, Ninja Geek. That makes sense. It's going to be a bunch of decks, and you're going to flip them up and say, can I deal with this event? I guess we'll find out. Let's roll some dice, get loot, upgrade your character as you go through on. That makes sense. The RPG in a box, that kind of gets it all together. I don't know. It doesn't sell me. And the art seems fine, but for a $100 game plus shipping, I want excitement in my veins, and I think I would probably enjoy playing this just average and not want to cover myself in jelly and roll around in a pile of feathers. So, as some other games make me want to do. But if you're interested in that, I mean, if you haven't been interested in the world, it's nice that they're doing a little bit of a reprint. They're trying to get rid of all their stock, and yeah, that finishes on the 31st at 5 p.m. We're going to keep it moving. Oh, with Tramways Engineers Workbook Volume 2. This is a solo, duo, standalone game where you visit 24 cities with your pens. Draw a line, pick up actions, and play each time with a new twist. This was on the R&R show. They sponsored the R&R show over on Rahdo's channel, which I am a part of. We kind of stream it live on Twitch, and then we release a list, essentially. It's just make a nice big old list. And I thought this looked kind of neat. Rahdo did like an 8-minute video detailing all of what this does. And so I'm kind of familiar with it because it was very recent. I'm going to check it out just to see. What I do like is that it is this little game book, 24 solo puzzles in 24 different cities. Oh, cool. I didn't know that there was a volume 1. That's neat. 20 to 30 minutes, plan your route, draw rail lines, use tickets, writing directly on the pages of the book because it's a dry erase book. Solve puzzles or play against your opponent and compare your best score with the designer himself. Well, if you have 2 people, then oh yeah, you're all doing it on your own map, though. You're creating these lines. Essentially, you are the financial director of the Small City Tramways Company, the biggest transportation company in Small City. Oof, thank goodness. You want to make the tramways work efficiently. Tramways rules, yeah, okay, I'll check it out. I feel familiar with it, though. The rules book provides the tramway rules and the tramways engineer workbook modification. You have 6 rounds, sometimes more, sometimes less. Playing in 2-player mode is confrontation. The winner is the player with the most happiness points. Oh, cool. 3 cities for print and play. You can click there. Great. This will give you the things. And then over here are the cards that you use, right? The actions that you can use. Make a route, get money, move a person. If you have this little strip, they're taking the subway, so your people actually move. And you want to score. I know it's the... There we go. Is that the way? Is this the way? Here's the game in a nutshell. This is the better rules. The rules that you actually want are like 2/3 down the page, right above where it says the game. That's how you get Engineer Workbook number 2. Each turn you choose the tickets that have the icons you need to perform. They're like cards. We'll just call them cards. So you only get to recover 4 tickets at the end of your turn. Remember, you have 6 rounds. But sometimes you will need to get rid of one, right? Like, and that's the crux of the game, is that you have essentially a number of different cards that you can use that can do different things. Building rail links, moving a passenger, building a building, upgrading rail links, upgrading a building, adding a passenger, decreasing your stress, which you don't want to be stressed, and then getting money. And so using all of that to navigate creating those buildings and moving things around in an efficient puzzle, I don't know, I think it looks kind of neat. 29 euros though, 43 Canadian. Shipping's probably not that bad, right? 8 euro, 9 euro, 10 euro. So like 50 bucks. 50 bucks Canadian. I thought because it was a book it would be cheaper, to be honest. But there's a lot of puzzles in there and a lot of replayability. So yeah, that idea of choosing the cards. Did I say worker placement earlier on? It's not. The idea of choosing the cards that you need to strategically plot out what buildings you're going to activate, how you're going to move passengers around to increase their overall happiness. If that sounds interesting to you, you should check this out. That finishes Friday, May 31st at 5:59 p.m. Moving along to see, like, okay, I gotta be honest though, like this 1-card maze, I've seen it before. Tramways the engineer's workbook looks so much better than this. 1-card maze is fine, but you just have a card and you go around, and when you have to flip it, you flip it in that direction, and then you have to backtrack. Anytime you have your person on an arrow, you can like rotate things, essentially, is how it works. I mean, $8 for a print and play. Well, there you go. One eclectic wallet where you get a bunch of different mazes that you can pull out and just like trace with your finger. I don't know. I don't think this one looks that exciting. And so in terms of like gameplay, I guess you get what you pay for. Anyway, 1-card maze. I mean, you get a lot of cards in it, but you just walk your way around, and then when you get to a side, you flip over. And if you get to another side, then you can rotate it, and you can only go through some doorways if the card is rotated. And then you go back, and then you can rotate it back to unlock other things. So it's kind of like a card version of those little dexterity globes where you have that ball that you're trying to like flick around. I think that's a good way of describing it. If that interests you, it's cheap. That's Saturday, June 1st, although what's shipping on this? 8 or 11, so basically the same amount. It's double. So it's like $20 for this, which these small wallet games have never really interested me, to be honest, but it might interest you, so that's why I'm bringing it up. Not everything interests me, and some things interest a lot of different people, and that's why I like to cover everything, and you can make your own decision, because I'm not your mom, all right? Except for you, Bruce. I'm your mom. Surprise! Stop staying so late out for curfew, dear. I'm worried sick, my little Brucey. Stop sneaking out on that tree on your window. You're 54, Bruce. You can go through the front door now. Okay, let's move on. I don't even know. We're looking at this. This is called Full Sauna. I just wanted to bring up that gay sauna is probably better. But let's look at it. Even though there's a card here that says farter. So I think we know how this is going to go. Yet it's a project Kickstarter loves. That's telling. I like the movements that are happening there, but I just think it's not going to be good. it's the farter that sends me away from this, as who could have guessed? You're going to be playing your characters out there. They want to stay in the sauna long enough to be relaxed, but all the other people coming in are going to make it not relaxing. It's 12 turns. You have your personal deck of 24 cards. Okay, 2 of each character. I do like that everyone has the characters. Your goal is to score the most points. You can play a card inside the sauna, put your pawn over it to activate its effect. The longer it stays in there. Also, activate all your previous cards inserted on previous turns by moving up your pawns 1 space. Boom, boom, because you want them to stay in there. Hot or cold, controlling the temperature is key to your strategy. It will determine which characters to play, what resources you can collect. So playing characters in there will affect other people. I can see there being some interesting decisions happening here, maybe. Some cards score right away if the sauna conditions are to their liking. If your cards manage to reach the final space on their hourglass track, they move into your relax zone. They'll give you endgame bonus points, yeah. You start with 5 Zen tokens. You can spend 3 to just skip the entire game. Okay. There's the little sorry mechanic here, which I really dislike, of bumping into people to stop them from advancing higher on the track and getting rewards. So a little bit of take that. In a couple of days, they'll share a complete rulebook. Dang. Well, at least they have that. You can come back to it. I am filming this a little bit earlier, so go check if they do have their rulebook. This is the expansion. You have a bunch of different saunas. Every time you bathe in hell, you can deal with the devil. Sell your Zen token, but it's just random. $15 for the print and play. I do like that. $45 for the full edition. I mean, it feels like a full game. That's 63 Canadian plus shipping is going to be probably another $20 for me. Yep, 27. So like 90. I mean, it doesn't draw me in for 90. It barely draws me in for 30. But I do think there is a game here, which I did not expect there to be. I think a lot of people will be ignoring this because of the art and thinking they know what it is. And I'm a fool, a weird, wild fool, to want to look into all of this stuff. But I think there could be a game here. Depends on what the rulebook says. I like the ability of like playing your cards according to the temperature. I wonder if it'll be too random, dependent upon what cards you draw. Who knows? But if you're interested in that, it finishes Saturday, June 1st at 10:44 a.m. Let's move along. Honestly, I don't know what this is. But I clicked on it solely for this title, which is Bad Trevor, the comic book card game where it pays to be bad. So let's see if there's even a game here. There probably isn't. It's kind of like a weird take that, go fish. Art looks cool though. And I like the concept that you can play heroes and that'll help somebody around the table and you can just like say, hey, I'll help you if you scratch my lower back. But is that not how your game nights go? But it doesn't look that exciting. And how much are you? 20? 28, yeah, 16 pounds, around 20. I don't know. I think the art looks fun, but it doesn't really look that great. Shipping to the UK is £2 though. That's nice. The rest of the world, £6. See, that's what I like. Anyway, that finishes Sunday, June 2nd at 6:59 p.m. I guess it doesn't pay to be bad. If you want the comic book card game where it pays to be bad, let's look at this one. We got Cogs and Carts. Cogs and Carts race for the diamonds in an evolving maze of rotating interconnected cogs, an abstract game for 2 to 4 players. This does look cool. And this is by Kanat, who does a bunch of abstract games. This one looks really interesting, though. Let's see. I hope it's good. I mean, just like, look at that. That's already broken my brain. It's like another one that he had called Sayu, where everything shifts. I'm like, there is no way that I'm going to be able to predict what's going to happen. Oh, especially not if there's new routes that are going to come around, and you gotta run around it. It's kind of like a better Suro, maybe. Interesting. Once you're happy with the cogs, okay, you can rotate them as much as you like. You can then flip them around to form a new pathway. Send your cart traveling down. So you want to sort of set yourself up into hitting things, and all cogs have the same pattern. So that's important too. No, maybe this wouldn't break my brain as much as I'm expecting it to. I like the little carts, and I think this production quality looks pretty neat. You want to go get the gems as much as possible. Interesting. Yeah, I think this does look neat. How much are you? Probably very expensive because it's made out of wood. 49 Australian, 45 Canadian. That's not bad for the component quality. I will say this, for a smaller publisher, like for a smaller person who's just making their own abstract board games, the few that Kanat sent me the production quality has been really, really nice. Because he sent me Eero, which I have a review on, and they sent me Sayu, which broke my brain. Just rotate the cards. I mean, just the fact of rotating those gears just feels very satisfying. I wonder if there are too many pathways in this. It seems like you can always get something to connect, you know? I don't quite see the strategy yet, but I'm going to trust that there is one. Yeah, I like Eero. It's like checkers on acid. And then Sayu was the one that broke my brain. And then Wana also was republished in another bunch of abstract ones. And I forgot about Yama, where you want to show a bunch of stuff. Oh, no additional shipping, so you can get your shipping. Okay, so what is it going to be? Yeah, 36 to Canada. Like almost doubles it. It's quite a bit. But if that seems cool to you, check it out. That finishes Sunday, June 2nd at 4 p.m. Moving along, we're getting there. We're getting near the end. We have Bouquet. I really didn't get that many, but hopefully we move through quickly enough. Oh, this is surprising. This hasn't funded yet. I thought this had funded. I still want to cover it, though, because I thought it looked neat that this is a game where it was like, hey, this is the board, and you're building up a bouquet of flowers. So I want to look at what this does, and then I'll come back to you. This is really attractive. This end state is very attractive. Anyway, you're going to place down one of your flower petal tiles into this bouquet, into this bouquet. I think that's how you pronounce it. And if it's touching the vase at the end, or it's touching the additional flowers, it's going to get doubly multiplied, but I think they all have placement restrictions. All of that sounds interesting. However, you can just take away petals that people just put down. You can just pluck them. So I just feel like I don't understand what the scoring is or why it's fun. I understand the visuals at the end. I don't understand why you'd keep your scoring conditions face down. And they also said that you can just pluck anything, which is completely unexciting to me. It's like, oh, you place something down, great. A flower petal, 1 point. Bee petal, 3 points. Dew petal, 4 points. Withered petal, -2 points. So that you want your opponents to pick it up. Sure. And it's $20. Like, that's a good price because it's just, you know, cardboard and petals. But I need... And a free print and play. Way to go. But I need a rule book. No, don't do this to me. Oh, I want to support you guys. Where's your rule book? I have specific questions. Try it out in Tabletop Simulator. Hey, that's probably got a rule book attached to it, maybe? No? The player with the most petals plucked decides where to place the vase. Okay. I want to know about the plucking because that's really not exciting to me. If the plucking didn't happen, then that could be okay. Or could be bouquet, you know? Unfortunately, like, no rulebook means no backing. That's just what it is. Because it might be okay, but it might be bouquet as well. That's unfortunate. I don't know why you can pluck people's petals. I don't know why the area control matters. I don't know what the scoring conditions are. And if I don't get to see how those things interact, well, why would I care? Anyway, that finishes Sunday, June 2nd at 10 p.m. Hopefully just get a rule book before it ends so that people can actually look at your game and decide if they're interesting, and maybe you'll fund. We're going to move along to Epochs, Course of Cultures, a 4X Civ game that spans the ages from antiquity to modernity. Forge your civilization's legendary journey through the sands of time. This was also a sponsor of the R&R show, so I got to take a little bit of a look at it, and I thought it looked kind of neat. And now I'm excited to do this little deep dive, so let's check it out. Well, that video was all hype and no additional information for me. Although I do like the concept of the asymmetric races, or civilizations rather, getting a bonus in a specific age. So having like the end game or the beginning jumpstart feels like a neat way to approach asymmetry, featuring realistic history across 3 epochs. As the ages unfold, the illustrations and card effects are more advanced. Just the illustrations. As the ages unfold, the card effects remain the same, but the pictures are prettier. Realistic simulation of historical civilizations. Wow. I don't want realism in my game. Because realistic civilization is, you know, a plague upon the earth and generally cultural genocide. Choose the right timing to upgrade your military. Okay, we're not gonna get anything here unless we get to the how to play and hopefully a rulebook. All right, manage your development pace with invention cards. Hide your potential path or unlock groundbreaking abilities before rivals. Sorry, there's a question mark there. Before rivals? An instant boost or planning for the future. Activate 2 out of 4 civilization abilities. Ooh, choose the most advantageous units based on various situations. Aha, very specific. Okay, here's what you can do in the game. You can expand your territory, build your city, establish trade routes, build your world wonder. Yeah, I need the rulebook. Give me the draft rulebook. Let's see what we can parse out of this. Only 17 pages though. That's better than I expected. Okay, so you're going to build up your inventions. You're either going to invent and perform one action, or you're going to perform two actions. So you're performing 2 actions, but one of them can be an invent action, is another way of saying that. But you're creating these stacking abilities over your board so that you have more power as you go throughout the game. You get the reward, and the player on your left gets the reward because they steal it from you. The invention, I mean. For your first action in the game, you must choose to expand to locate the place of origin of your nation. So that's on the board. There's a modular board in the middle. You can be flipping things up as the game progresses. You must follow terrain restrictions when you do that. The picture has to make sense. You always have to build out for yourself. If you place a cube on the resources, you get those resources. All that makes sense. You can build a city on the intersection of your cubes like Catan. It can't be one away. What does the city do? It provides one something. It gives you benefit in between epochs and it's worth points. Seems like everything's worth points in this game. You can build a trading post. You can plop a little trading post down beside somebody who's out there. I really wish I knew what these symbols meant. But I'm just assuming there's some sort of resources. Yeah, there's a bunch of demand tokens, supply tokens. Maybe that's it. You were in supply and demand. That's what they're called. That's why it says supply and demand over here. Key concept, demand and supply. It also is listed right in front of me that I just didn't read. Okay. You earn trade income that brings you gold and purple. Prestige, currency, something. You can research, move up the track, gain the rewards on left and right. So that's how you're going to get a lot of resources. Build a wonder. A civilization sometimes needs to build a wonder to show their mightiness. I just want to know more about the military, how the fighting happens. Here we go. Change form of government. But everything you're doing is essentially getting you resources. That's what I'm reading here. So if you like resource management, you can check this out. Then we have the military confrontation. Military step. There's an expenditure. So you spend your resources on your military people. Units are ready for war. If they're not ready for war, they can't attack. Also, you have 0 attacking power, can't throw any dice while defending. So I like that. If you expand your military, the more you expand your military, the more you're committing resources to that military every military phase. And you'll be attacking people. And because winning in wars can give you a lot of benefits, so you may want to start launching attacks on others. To do so, you need to declare yourself as a warmonger. And whoever you're attacking, you got to remove trading posts. I like that. So you can't trade. You either have to attack or trade. You declare an attack target that's adjacent to your land, cities, or trading posts unless you have any across abilities. Don't know what that means, but that's fine. Okay, so you just get a bunch of dice. You roll 1 plus the number of advantage dice. So you have dice that you roll, and then you want to get swords in those dice. Okay, so it's just really based upon the cards that you acquire into your tableau when you upgrade your military cards, and then having that threat. Or you can trade, which will get you a bunch of stuff. But if somebody just declares war on you, then you're going to lose their trading posts anyway. So, yeah. After the military step, your turn ends, and the player on your left starts their turn. Players take turns until all players has done 6 turns in the epoch. Wait a minute, so you have a military phase every turn? You get two actions, and you get a military? Oh, you must invent exactly 3 inventions in an epoch. You cannot invent less inventions to have more actions. Okay, I like that. Is one of the actions attack, though? No, it's just upgrade a military unit. Then there's the action step, then there's the military step. If you want to attack, so you can attack anytime at the end of anything. So it's very war heavy, but it'll drain your resources. What's your benefit from getting, you gain 1 thing from red, you steal 1 resource from them. End of game scoring, every little shield you have gives you a victory point, so that's why you might fight people. Works of art, though, get you points. So everything gets you points, yeah. Okay, I see how this could kind of flow. This is a lot more aggressive than I was expecting, so if you want more of an aggressive game, I think you could check this one out. 85, though. I get that. 116 Canadian. Like, I do understand there's a lot of cardboard, a lot of wood in here. There wasn't anything that really drew me in. Again, it's one of those things where when you have a lot of card play and you have a lot of cards with actions, it's tough to see the flow a little bit without playing it. I'm trying to think if it blows me away. I mean, I haven't played a lot of civilization games either, to be fair. 4X isn't really my preferred genre. So you'll have to let me know in the comments if it is your preferred genre and if you think it looks cool. Shipping 24, so you're looking at 109 US. It's 120 Canadian, so like 150 to get this Civilization game. And that's a lot of money to drop for a genre that you may not be a huge fan of. But I don't know, Rado seemed to like it. I mean, he likes everything. But well, that's not true. He doesn't like any of the games I like. So maybe that tells me not to get it. But that's if you're interested in that finishes Sunday, June 2nd at 11:59 p.m. We're pretty much done. I do have this Apocalypse How? A darkly fun party game. Oh, it's the apocalypse. It's a sick world. Look at this. It's a white card with text on it. It's a funny card. It's probably funny. It's just like an icebreaker sort of thing. Actually, I don't even think it's funny. It said, what would you wear? They're just like icebreaker questions in the apocalypse. So if you want that, there you go. It's a deck of cards. And then we also have this Meeple Style gamer socks, tabletop inspired designer socks for the stylish gamer. Just got another backer. They're kind of cute. How much are they? 20 bucks a pair. That's my bet. 4 pairs. Choose any 4 pairs of socks. 23. Wow. I was expecting these to be overpriced. You know, $5 a pair of socks. These are kind of cute. These are very cute. 23, $5 a sock. Very cute. Is there any shipping? Do you have shipping? Do you not have shipping? We estimate shipping to be a fee of around $1.50 per pair anywhere in the world. It should be $5 at maximum. Most likely be 1 to 3. Yeah. You know what? Very cute. These are priced better than I expected them to be. So way to go, Meeple Socks. Check them out if you want fun little socks. I really did not expect these because like everything I find is overpriced. But they're cheap and fun little patterns. So there you go. Or if you want comfy shirts, you can go to Into the AM and use the code SlipperyJim. Not sponsored. I just like their stuff. That's it. That was a big friggin' week. Wow, that was a big week. Every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I'm the most interested in. The pick for you being the thing that I think if you got, you would regret the least. That is the definition that I have found over the course of this time and has stuck the most rather than, you know, suggesting you back something. Because remember, you don't have to back everything. Lots of games are fun. Only back something if it really, really makes you excited. If it gives you this flame of fire. I got Tenaris Adventures, and just like, look at this friggin' cool dragon. They sent me this dragon, and this is the painted I mean, I painted this myself, personally. I'm the one who painted it. I am the one who paints, like Walter White. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. Look at that cool sculpture. I figured that I'd show that off. You gotta be more excited than that dragon breathing fire. So let's see, what's my pick for me? I think I know it. Well, I know what the pick for Renée is, because it's this, and I want to cancel this so I can get the retail. I want to pay 42 Canadian for it, and not 75. But Renée has spoken, so there's that. Let's go through them all again, just quickly looking at them. Yeah, Master of the Universe looks okay. Children of Morta was okay. Formosa Tea, I think Formosa Tea is the pick for me. I am the most intrigued by this. This is the thing that made me the most excited. I have my skepticisms about the flow of the gameplay, and they are listening to gamers and they want to add in some replayability. I don't know if this flow will feel as fun as it does, especially with the not that much variance of the cubes. It all depends on the cube draw and if this puzzle right here is exciting or not. You know, if it's obvious, then the choices will be obvious to move up the track, and that'll be less exciting. If it's not obvious, it could be a tense decision-making process of when do you go up the T track and when don't you, so you can economize your actions. I think that's the one for me. I don't know. I mean, pick for you is probably Canvas rather. It's a solid, fun game, but I think it's overpriced, even though I'm getting it. Master of the Universe Battleground, I don't know. I might go with no pick for you, you know? I might go with no pick for you. I mean, I went through... The pick for you is test your excitement, right? The pick for you is how excited are you? Let's take this so I can actually look at you in your eyes. It's how excited are you about these games? And how excited... Like, nothing really really blew me up over the moon. And I don't see many of these games that are on offer doing that for everybody. I think they look good, but I think we're at a stage in the hobby, and a lot of people who have large collections should agree with this, where good isn't good enough, right? Even very good is sometimes not good enough. Sometimes there is a lot of choice out there, and it needs to be very, very good. It needs to be exceptional. And so this is your reminder that, like, yeah, it's fun to look at games. Cool. It's fun to window shop, but you don't have to be incredibly impulsive and just back something because it's pretty. You don't. You don't have to do that. You want to think about the games that will last you for a long time and see the table and bring you joy, right? Those are the things that we want to invest our money and our time into. And I think it's just, again, a good reminder. So no pick for you. Pick for me, though, Formosa Tea. That one did give me a little thrill, although I am skeptical. So that's it. Let me know what you're playing, what you're backing, what is going on in your life. I'll see you next week. My name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but we're nearing up 2,000 campaigns, so we might hit that next week. We'll see what campaign hits the number 2,000, and if it's just good, maybe I'll back. No, stop. I need to stop backing it. I hope it's How to Save a World. I hope it's that, because I've already backed that one. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Now get out of here. Go watch. No, just kidding. Don't get out of here. Watch something else. Or do get out of here, because YouTube likes to perpetuate this consistent cycle of these videos popping up around you. And you know what? You could go take a walk, or you could just go watch a movie or something. I'm not better than a movie. But if you want to hang out with me some more, I probably have a video for that.